We have all seen the horrific images from Turkey and Syria of the devastation caused by the recent earthquakes. We may not be near them, but our hearts still break for those who have lost their lives, lost their homes. But at the same time, there is an opportunity for us to take a lesson from such calamities. That is what I'll be talking about today. As a result of the earthquakes, thousands have lost their lives, their homes, their loved ones, their livelihoods, everything. As we reflect on their situation, I think it's important to also take this opportunity to reflect on what we can take from this situation. What lessons can we learn? How can we use these situations to help us become better people and to help us make the world a better place? Every single situation in this world, whether good or bad, contains some sign of Allah. Nothing in life is devoid of Allah. Ultimately, everything goes back to Him. And there is no better example of this than natural disasters. It's incredible the kind of progress we have made as a species. We have sent people on the moon, we've seen galaxies, we've discovered the incredible complexity of the human body at a molecular level. And yet, despite all these advancements, all this progress, we're all completely brought to our knees when a natural disaster strikes. All that advancement, all that progress, all that development comes literally crumbling down. Do you know what that is? That is Allah telling you to check yourself. That is Allah saying, hey, slow down. Yeah, you might have achieved some pretty incredible things, but don't forget that I am still in control. That is the wisdom of Allah, that He can literally shake the ground beneath us and in one instant completely remove any sense of our independence. Because that's what it is. At the end of the day, we are completely and utterly dependent on Allah. All this advancement, all this science makes us delude ourselves into thinking that we are in control, that we don't need anyone, we don't need God, we have science, right? Allah says in the Quran, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ وَأَضَلَّ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. Allah says, have you seen those who have taken their desires as their God? So Allah left them to be misguided despite their knowledge. See, that's what we've done. In our love for science and progress, we leave God behind, we leave religion behind, and we take science as our religion. We start to live by the holy principles of science. And yet, look at what happens in an earthquake. Death and destruction, regardless of our progress, regardless of our knowledge. That is the lesson we need to take here, that no matter how far we've come as a species, no matter what we've achieved, we are still ultimately the slaves of Allah, the one and only true master who has complete control. Okay, so that's the first lesson. The second lesson we can take from such calamities is to truly appreciate our blessings. We have it good. No matter what your challenges are, no matter what you're struggling with, be grateful that you're not pulling out your loved ones from under the rubble of what used to be your home. Be grateful that you're not hoping and praying that a rescue team finds you before you starve to death under the rubble. Seeing the challenges that those people are going through will really, truly make us reconsider our struggles. Yes, of course it's human to get caught up in our day-to-day struggles, but think of what some others have to go through. Think about the kids. Did they choose to be born in Turkey or Syria? Did they live in those houses knowing that there was a risk of them crumbling down? No, they did not choose to be in an earthquake, just like you and I didn't truly choose to live the safe, comfortable lives that we're living. It is all a mercy from your Lord. Sure, of course, you made some choices, you took some steps, but anyone who lives a life of relative comfort cannot, in all honesty, say that they got it there by themselves. They did not. Allah has been extremely merciful to us. Forget the luxuries, the car, the home, the devices we have, forget that. Just the fact that you have food to eat and a roof over your head is a huge blessing. And we don't even think about that. So what's the takeaway here? What's the practical steps that we can take to use this knowledge to become better people and better members of society? Well, I've got two ideas for you. The first is pretty obvious. Be grateful. You have so much, so be grateful. And if you don't think you have enough, then you definitely need this advice. Allah says in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you tried to count the blessings of Allah upon you, you would never be able to do so. And it's true, if you actually sat down and tried to list out all the blessings you have, you'll get exhausted way before you run out of things. So make this a habit. Take just 5 minutes every day and write down 3 things that you're grateful for. It's best to attach this habit to something that you already do regularly. Like, for example, if you have a habit of reading every day before you go to sleep, connect this practice to that. So you'd start with this exercise and then go on to your reading. Try to do it at a time when you know you're not going to be distracted by other things. Over time, you're going to start to appreciate the things you have more and more. You'll start to see all the things that you have that others don't, as opposed to seeing all the things that you don't have that they do. And so you'll be more grateful. It's like a snowball effect. You get started and you start thinking about it that way, and that helps you think about it more often and keep that gratitude mindset. So that's the first practical takeaway. The second takeaway is to give. Give money, give clothes, give blood, give your time. Whatever you can give, give. The more you focus on giving, the more you'll shift your mental focus away from your problems towards the problems that others are having. And you know what happens then? Your own problems start to seem so much smaller. It's excellent to donate money, but don't just stop there. It's really easy these days to go online and donate or to drop money in a donation box. Again, that's a wonderful thing, but to truly bring change in our lives, it's important to be more involved in that process. Take some time to genuinely think, how can I be of benefit to people? What are the skills and qualities that I have, the knowledge that I have, that I can use to be of benefit? Allah has given me so much, and when I die and I stand before my Lord, I want to be able to say, Allah, you gave me so much and this is what I did with it. I want to have something that I can show for myself. That should be the approach. So start by just making a list of things that you know you're good at, things that other people might have praised you for. Things that came easy to you that don't come as easy to other people. And then find out how you can use those skills to be a source of good in the world. The more you approach this with sincerity, the more you take this seriously, the more change you'll see in your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this, please check out my previous video about 2 simple ideas that can guarantee your happiness. If you think someone might benefit from hearing this, please share and join in on that sweet, sweet reward. I pray that Allah forgives those who have lost their lives in the recent tragedies, that He grants them the lofty reward that's promised to the martyrs, that He gives strength and patience to those that are still suffering, the ones that were left behind, and that He alleviates their suffering. That for those of us that enjoy comfortable, safe lives far away from the suffering, that Allah grants us true appreciation for what we have, how blessed we are, and that He creates in us a desire to develop ourselves to want to make the world a better place, and that through that we become successful servants. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.